everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Who will dethrone Gunther? Wow, oh wow, did I expect to make this video? Not really. If anything, I expected who will dethrone Seth Rollins, Goldberg video. Didn't have any of that. Instead, we had Gunther winning it all. Now, I made a video about a couple weeks ago. Weeks ago, of why they were having this Raw so far ahead after Money in the Bank and what was going down and why are they having this? Well, I said in that video there was 4 possibilities. It was either title change interference with Goldberg, cash-in attempt, actual cash-in, and I think actually cash-in attempt was mixed in cash-in. I think I just said Jey Uso win with interference. And I said mostly that it would be either a title change, someone's big return like Goldberg to set up SummerSlam, or what's it called? A cash-in. Well, everyone expected the cash-in. Instead, we actually got the title change. And I said it before. They did this before with Io Sky. Everyone thought it was kind of weird that they did that with Io Sky. Now they did it with Gunther. And I get it. I understand it. So today, we're going to talk about who dethroned Gunther. Now, we have some honorable mentions I first have to get out the way. And yes, you see somebody in particular that you would be like, why is he even on this list? Listen, you got to talk about him. Randy Orton, I thought maybe King of the Ring, gets his revenge, goes after Gunther. Pretty good. Now, I think Gunther will somewhat be a transitional champion. I don't think he will actually be a long-holding champion because, in my opinion, we've seen it so many times with Gunther. I'd rather have the transitional championship rather than another Gunther long reign. So, Randy, if it's a long reign, maybe. Drew McIntyre comes back soon. Maybe he's the question mark on the King of the Ring, which I actually didn't even think about. Maybe he's the question mark on the King of the Ring. Maybe he wins King of the Ring, goes after Gunther for SummerSlam. Maybe it's CM Punk that goes after him later on, calling his shot. There was rumors that it was going to be CM Punk Survivor Series with him, and then things changed. Goldberg, I have on here because ultimately everyone thought he would be the retirement match. I think, just truthfully, they're going to go a different route, and I hope it's Braun Breaker and Goldberg. I hope Goldberg says he's having a retirement match on that Saturday night's main event. He announces it, or he comes back before and announces it, and then ultimately Braun Breaker interrupts him and they have their match. That's why we'll see, but I still want to mention Goldberg because if Goldberg is having a chance at this title, I'm scared of what WWE might do. I really am. So I'm just going to mention Goldberg on here. Now let's get to my real people. Ilya Dragunov's here because of the feud that they have. I think it'd be really cool if Ilya Dragunov comes back sooner rather than later, and maybe he's the winner of King of the Ring with the question marks and Ilya Dragunov goes after Gunther. They would have a fantastic match. It could be a push of a century for Ilya Dragunov, and I really do believe Ilya Dragunov could go up there with Gunther. Now, I think personally you should have had him maybe go after him at WrestleMania if he had the title to really make Ilya Dragunov be pushed to the century to really have Ilya. But of course he was injured. I think they went a couple different routes. I think Ilya Dragunov is fantastic, and Ilya Dragunov in ring wise could go after Gunther, has had great promos. They're two lovebirds when it comes to wrestling. They're wrestling lovers, and I do believe that those two have to have a match soon. And it's just, is a title on the line? Is it not? I think Ilya could be somebody that, interesting enough, could really go after Gunther. But he's all the way at the bottom here because, in my opinion, there's a lot more valid and kind of storyline-wise stuff that makes a lot of sense. Braun Breaker might not make that much sense compared to Ilya Dragunov because you have Seth Rollins in front of him. But I kind of see a thought of maybe Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, For example, Braun Breaker might try to have a match. Seth Rollins might cash in, and Braun Breaker wins the match somehow, some way. I really do just believe that there could be a thing where Braun Breaker takes the title off Gunther if Gunther holds this till Royal Rumble, and Braun Breaker wins the Royal Rumble to have Braun Breaker versus Gunther. Seth Rollins actually cashes in on Cody, so you have that full faction with two of the titles. I think there is a possibility of that. I just want to mention it because I think Braun Breaker is ready for a world title. I think Braun Breaker is ready to win gold, and they're just not fully unleashing him because he's on Seth Rollins' faction and it's giving Seth Rollins the gold. So it's just a mention, and I think it's a valid mention. Up next is Jey Uso. I think this is the fourth one on here. There's 6 that I labeled. Fourth on here. Listen, I love Jey Uso. I have my own Jey Uso glasses. I also have a Gunther poster literally right there. I think I have a Jey Uso poster somewhere. Oh, yeah. I have a Jey Uso poster right here. So, 2 of my favorite wrestlers going against each other. Gotta love it, right? I love Jey Uso. He did not need the title. Let's be honest here. I think giving him a title reign was perfect. Ending it here is fine. I think it could have gone on longer. I think I would have been fine if it gone on longer. I'm not one of those people that are like, get away Jey Uso off the title. It makes no sense. I think he did good. I think he was a fighting champion. Look at how many defenses. Look how many times he wrestled. Jey Uso is perfect. He is a day in, day out type of guy. He deserved the title reign. 51 days is fine. I think, in my opinion, Jey Uso's over enough that he doesn't need the title. He is, in my opinion, somebody that is fantastic. He's just going to be over with the fans, and he doesn't need that title to be over with the fans. For that reason, he didn't need the title, and I think you could have different storylines with people. Now, I'm also somebody that hates long reigns. I'd rather have multiple champions in a year because I think, yes, you could say, oh, well, they didn't hold this. Oh, well, they didn't do this. Oh, well, there's stature to the championship. It's still the number one championship at the end of the day on a brand. I still think that you could give it to other people, and having a Shark Tank of competitors around it is better, where it really feels like you could lose a title at any second. So I do think Jey Uso lost it, and that's why I have him here at 4, because I don't think he's going to go for it right away. Yes, he might try to. I don't think he's going to get the chance to. Now, could we enter a certain point where it's like some sharks around it, where Gunther's actually not the one to have it, and Jey Uso comes back and wins it? Maybe, but I don't think we're going to see that for a little bit. I think it's going to take some time. Up next is LA Knight. I put LA Knight in front of Jey Uso because a part of me believes there could be a storyline involved where somehow LA Knight wins the championship off of Gunther, and then Seth Rollins is involved. Here's why. You look at King of the Ring, and maybe this is all because of King of the Ring that I'm thinking so much, but I guess that's fair because you have to think about the stuff that's coming up to cause people to lose championships, so whatever. When you think about it, to me, LA Knight is very close right there to the King of the Ring, and so over in Saudi, it's kind of fair to have him go in Saudi and be potentially King of the Ring. It's like a great push, like Money in the Bank. I think, in my opinion, that's fair, and he could really do it. But because of this feud that he might have with Seth Rollins, might not happen. Now, let's say he does win King of the Ring, and he does have this feud with Seth Rollins, and he does win the championship off of Gunther. Because he had that feud with Seth Rollins, it would make sense that Seth Rollins cashed in on LA Knight right away, right? So I think there could be a way where LA Knight beats Gunther in the future if they go that route. And ultimately, Seth Rollins cashes in on LA Knight if Seth Rollins and LA Knight are about to have a feud. Because it's a storyline where maybe LA Knight get one's up on Seth Rollins. And then because of that, LA Knight goes for Gunther, wins against Gunther. Seth Rollins then gets one up on LA Knight. I mean, that's a perfect way that I could see the booking happen. So I want to mention LA Knight. Seth Rollins is here because he has the briefcase. Now, do I ultimately believe that Seth Rollins will cash in exactly on Gunther? Not really. Do I think that it is a big chance? Yeah. I think maybe whoever wins King of the Ring, if it's not going against Gunther, or if it's going against Gunther, could lose to Gunther. And say if Gunther loses at SummerSlam, Seth Rollins might take advantage and cash in on Gunther at SummerSlam, and then he's the champion. Then you could leave up some question marks on Seth and Gunther for the future, and you could really lead into that storyline. Now, would be kind of babyfacious to push for Gunther or Seth. I think what you should do is Gunther lose and then Seth Rollins cash in. That's what I think. Just a personal thought, because I think he is a heel champion, so it makes, or a heel Money in the Bank holder, so it makes more sense to cash in on that babyface. But just want to mention it because I don't think it's a shock to see if Seth Rollins would do this. Now, you have to find out who's going to go against Gunther, and that ultimately leads me to who I think will dethrone Gunther, and that's Sami Zayn. One way or another, I'm thinking Sami Zayn either will win King of the Ring or go against Gunther at SummerSlam. I think this whole summer of Sami saying, I'm going to win a world championship, I'm going to do it somehow, and everyone thought, well, they're talking 1 year in advance with Triple H booking where he's going to win the Royal Rumble and then go against maybe Seth Rollins, who has a championship. That's fair, understandable, but let's be honest here. I think at the end of the day, Sami Zayn is going to win King of the Ring. Then Sami Zayn is going to go after win King of the Ring, go after Gunther on Raw, say, I took the IC from you. What makes me say I can't take this from you? Yes, you've beaten me before, but I'm going to prove you wrong, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Sami Zayn ultimately in Saudi, where we all know Saudi and Sami, will go, beat King of the Ring, go after Gunther, and I'm expecting at SummerSlam Sami Zayn to beat Gunther. Now, yes, Sami's now a world champion, and everyone's so happy. But look who comes down the lane. Who's coming down the walkway? Who's ambushing him? Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. And ultimately, I believe that what's going to happen is that Sami's going to... I think, this is what I think. If it's Sami versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, I would guess that main events night one. Because I think that's the world title. Maybe Roman and Seth happen, and maybe that's earlier in the night. I just believe that Sami is going to beat Gunther at that night. Everyone's going to be so happy Sami's finally a world champion. The baby face is on top. Sami did it. Didn't listen to Karrion Kross. Then Sami gets destroyed. Cashed in on by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is your new World Heavyweight champion. That's where I'm going at. That's what I feel. I hope it wouldn't be Seth is about to cash in, then Roman stops him. Because that's a big possibility. Punk maybe stopping him too. Whatever it might be. Maybe it is Roman or Sami's about to get destroyed. Seth cashes in. Roman then tries to go interfere. Braun stops him. Then maybe CM Punk tries to interfere. Reed stops him. Maybe there's somebody else that tries to interfere and a third member comes out or something. I don't know. I just think that the way we're going is going to be Sami dethrone Gunther. Sami losing to Seth Rollins. Just my thought. All right, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.